I am very happy to be chatting today with Gabriella Buba, whose book, Saints of Storm and Sorrow, I really enjoyed. And I'm very excited about the next one because there's more for Lunarin. How do you say her name? I want to say it correctly.
Minoran. You're good.
Lunarin? Okay,
Mhm.
good. So, welcome, Gabriella. Why don't you tell me a little bit, what inspired you to write Saints of Storm and Sorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Saints of Storm and Sorrow is kind of a story that I've been trying to tell for years and years. Like, I had this failed child chosen one story, and I was trying to make it work and trying to make it work. And then one day, as I was going down the research rabbit hole, as one does, I found the story of the oldest extant Black Madonna in the Philippines. So, the oldest Mother Mary statue made of wood. And it's from like, give me a moment, dates, they're hard for me to remember, so they're in my author's notes,
Cool.
so I won't get them wrong. Let's
I have to
see.
tell you that, Philippines was colonized by the Spanish, and I'm from South America. I'm from Peru. So we were also colonized by,
You
by
get
the
it.
Spanish. And I went to a
Bonding.
right? I went to a convent school. So to read this story about this fantasy book about this bisexual nun, I was like, I really need to read this.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, no, I like it was such a fun story to write. And also, I feel like it resonates even outside of the Philippines just because the Spanish do have so many colonies and did spread Catholicism the way that they did. But basically, so this Black Madonna statue, it was like discovered by the Spaniards in 1571, and it was a native idol of some goddess. And they don't know who she was because all those records have been lost. And she's still in a church in Manila. And I thought to myself, I wonder if she's angry we forgot her name. And then the whole story came out
Yeah. Yeah,
right
I
from
mean,
there.
wouldn't you
That was
be
the start.
angry if you were a goddess and people forgot your name like I would?
Mhm. They put you
That
in
would
a
never be
church,
a
they gave
problem
you
for me.
another name, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. That is so cool. I did not know that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed I always enjoy a good go against the colonizers story.
I always say,
Tell
come for
me,
the bisexual nun stay to drown colonizers. That's the pitch. That's the whole book. Like,
I mean, and I'm
if that
okay, and I
sounds like a
enjoyed
book for
it.
you.
And there is more coming. So tell me about, the world building because, this is rooted in the real history, uh, parts of it, but there's also fantasy. So tell me about your world building process.
Yeah, so for the magical world building, I took a lot of influence from the folklore and stories that we have about the Babaylan, the shamans. The Tagalog word is Catalonan, and that's what I use in the book. But a lot of the records that we have are from Visaya and Babaylan. And I took all of these stories of their abilities and I kind of wove it into a magic system based on the Tagalog creation story. So there's that poem in the very early in the book where she introduces like how the islands came to be. And that is almost word for word the Tagalog creation story. I just kind of re-slotted some of the gods to better work out for my pantheon and also to make it a little more feminist. So there's this thing that happened because we were colonized by the Spanish, and all of it was recorded by church fathers. They kind of morphed their recordings to better match their religion. So there's a lot of doubt about like, did was Bethala actually like the Almighty Sky Father, just like God? Or, was it different before the Spanish came and wrote that down? And so I decided I wasn't going to stick to that kind of view through the eyes of the Spaniards that we have of a lot of that pre-colonial religion and kind of went for my own interpretation, but was trying to stay true to like, cultural stories that I have and have been told.
Okay. Um, is there a favorite side character in the
Cinna.
first book for you?
Cinna is my favorite. Cinna is the most fun. Cinna, she's that friend who's like, yeah, girl, burn it all down. You need to have that friend in your life.
It's very timely, to have a friend like that right now too. Yeah, loved her. Do you are you a more organized writer or are you a pantser, kind of keeping notes everywhere?
I say I'm a recovered pantser. So I used to, pants all the way, no planning. Who needs planning? And it would take me literal years to get a first draft into something readable. And now I write a pitch for the book, I write a query for the book, I write a scene by scene outline for the book, and then we go. And it's so much. I hate to say this because I know pantsers are like, oh, it takes all the joy out. No, no, it takes all the pain out of editing.
Okay. So it gives you the freedom to go everywhere within those parameters.
Yes, because I feel like I'm such an overwriter that if I just get going on my own happy little tangents, I'm over there having written a 4 book saga and I haven't gotten to the first plot point that I plan to get to in the book. And that's really hard to make into like a novel shaped thing. If I'm working within like, okay, I have this much time and this many words to get to these points, then I can really be a lot more, what's the most fun way to get there? And you're not already, 200,000 words in that you're going to have to trash.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a never-ending series, how many books are in this series?
It
And
is a
can you tell
duology.
me a little bit about the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the Stormbringer Saga, that's our duology title. I love
Okay.
it. Is Saints of Storm and Sorrow and Daughters of Blood and Fury. So this final
Okay.
book is going to wrap up the story, and I'm really excited about where it's going. And so Daughters of Flood and Fury is going to pick up 5 years after where we left off. The
Okay.
Codicians have raised an armada and they are coming to retake Anilla. And so you have Alan and Lenurin who are trying to like pull together their allies and the Storm Fleet in time to like face this coming danger. And then we also have Inez, who I'm making it up to. I swear. I swear I'm making it up to that girl. She deserves the world. I'm
Yes,
gonna fix it. I
right.
apologize for everything I did.
No, you
And
don't. You do not.
I
You
know,
like
I
making
know.
us suffer.
But so she's been named Tide Touched, and she's really struggling with like embracing that role in society and healing. Like that doesn't make sense to her. It just doesn't click for her. And Alan and Luna, and they want this for her. They're like, this will help you like grow as a person and heal and like find peace in your life. And Inez is like, what if I don't want peace? What if what if that?
Yeah.
So she's gonna run away and have some fun with some pirates on the Great South Sea. And it's gonna be exciting.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I am so very excited. Who do you read? Not just for fun, but are there writers or any other artists that inspire you?
Absolutely. Right now is an amazing time for Filipino fantasy. KS Viosa's work like really inspired me. When I saw like a full Southeast Asian inspired fantasy world, I was like, wow, there's a market for that. That's what I want to be writing. Rin Chupeco, their work is the OG. They started the ball and I respect their work so much. I really enjoyed their latest vampire book, Night Watching. Oh, it was a delight. And Thea Guanzon, I love her. What's the latest one that came out? It's still in my TBR because I've been under writing deadlines. Hurricane Wars was the first one, and Monsoon Rising.
Yeah,
It's on my Kindle, and I'm like, any day now, any day I'll
yeah.
be free.
Um, yeah, I think, I mean, right now there is like so much out there that you can really explore and not just, diversify your reading, but, truly enjoy. Like I have learned so much about different mythologies. Like we all went through our, Greek mythology phase or whatever.
Egypt, Egypt
Um,
or Greek? Come on, those are your two choices in like the early 2000s.
right? And I remember there was this game show in Peru. And I was really little and I was like obsessed with Greek mythology. And when they asked the final question, like the $64,000 question or whatever, I knew the answer. And I'm like, Mom, see? Like, this is actually, no, go back and do your math and do your assigned reading. And I'm like, no, but mythology. But, the fabulous thing is that you can learn so much from, fantasy books that incorporate these rich, cultures and rich mythologies. And I really, other than, the entire, nun situation from my childhood, I really appreciated, Saints of Storm and Sorrow for that. Um, when you like, I'm sure you meet, new authors, baby authors, aspiring authors. What is your advice to them?
My big advice is you got to finish the first story. Nothing, you can spend so long polishing and trying to make like your first 10 pages perfect. I know so many baby authors who are just like, I have so many stories I want to tell. I'm like, you got to finish the first one. Even if you tell it in the stupidest, worst way possible, if you finish that first story, then you can fix everything. Anything can be fixed in edits. So my advice is always sometimes you have to find the stupidest way to solve the problem that you've written yourself into because done is better than perfect.
This is very true. This is very true. And there's so many opportunities, later on to go back and like you said, tighten up a plot or, polish up some stuff. Um, what other than joy, again, what do you want readers to take away from your books?
I really hope, I think Saints is a lot about like maybe not you, but me as a person. You spend a lot of time like pushing it all down. Just keep it all nice and bottled up because we got to go to work today and we can't be an angry brown woman. We got to just keep it bottled up, keep smiling, keep playing nice. And at some point, you got to reach down in there and you got to find whatever it is. And maybe it's grief and maybe it's rage and you got to pull it out and you got to make it everyone's problem. And that's kind of the takeaway that I want people to have from Saints that, like, sometimes keeping it bottled up is not the best solution. And it's going to be messy and awful. And you're not going to want to take it out. But sometimes you gotta.
It's true.
Sometimes it's been too much.
No, it's true. And I think especially as women or people who fulfill the, more female role within their house, we are taught that. You don't make a scene and you don't do this and you don't raise your voice. I mean, I was raised in a very patriarchal, very like, dominated society. And
Mhm.
that's very, very true. Very true. Um, what is next for you after the second book?
I don't know that I can talk about it.
Okay.
But
It's okay.
so I think I can talk about I can touch on it. So I have a short story called Dying Rivers and Broken Hearts, and it's a different magic system than Saints. It's set in my Witch Heart universe. And that's kind of a take on the Tagalog idea of the body and mind being two souls within one body. And I kind of spawned a magic system based on that. So check out Dying Rivers and Broken Hearts. It's free on Podcastle. It's a really fun listen. Um, I am going to be working on some more stuff within that universe, fulfilling my dream of having a connected universe of things. And hopefully soon contracts will be inked and I can talk about that in more detail.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to whatever you write next. I think your voice is, it's unique. Uh, I just really appreciated, Saints of Storm and Sorrow, and I can't wait to go back into that world. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me to chat about your books and your writing. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I wish you the very best of luck with every future project that you have.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
Good. Well, you take care and I will see you soon.
Have a good day.
You too.